Dolby Digital is an audio format that is used in commercial theaters and home theaters across the world. I have been involved with this music format for quite some time now, and through extensive research, I have found out that it is the wave of the future. I have a very keen sense when it comes to audio, and I have dabbled with speakers since the tender age of 14 years old. Over the years, I have learned a lot about speakers. I have been employed in the tech field and have been trained by Best Buy to sell devices linked to the technology. Dolby Digital, or surround sound, as most people like to call it, is very important in audio video reproduction. In this era that we live in, sound is just as important as picture. Dolby Digital was first used to provide digital sound in cinemas from 35mm film prints. Today it is used in such media as TV, radio, and DVD, just to name a few sources. The first movie to be presented in Dolby Digital was Batman Returns back in 1992, and according to local movie buffs around the world, was an instant breakthrough. Dolby Digital uses up to 6 discrete channels for sound, which are the left and right front speaker, the center speaker, the left and right surround speaker, and last but not least, the subwoofer. The main use for the left and right front speakers is to produce most of the music from the soundtrack. The center channel is responsible for the dialogue and makes it easy to understand what is being said. The right and left surround speakers are used for special effects and can have the same frequencies as the right and front left speakers, but are used much less. Finally, the subwoofer can be used to produce low frequency effects, or LFE, in a surround sound configuration. In my opinion, the subwoofer is one of the most important factors when it comes to surround sound. Although Dolby Digital is the audio elite right now, there are a few others on the rise, such as Dolby Atmos and DTS-X, which are even more complex, compressed audio formats, which have been gaining notoriety lately. When the technology first became available, the cheapest you could find it for was over $1,000. Now you can get yourself a good setup for around $100 to $200. As with all new technology, when it is first released, it is a bit on the pricey side. My first experience with surround sound was from an all-in-one box purchased from Sam's Club back in 2000. New to the tech at the time, I fooled around with it, configured it, placed it all around the room for optimum results, and I would soon find that this little hobby of mine would become addictive. Every time I hear or see something to do with Dolby Digital, it instantly grabs my attention, and I can't pull myself away. I gained a great deal of knowledge from previous employer Best Buy, and I was able to help a lot of customers with speakers in Dolby Digital. In some cases, I even found a couple of hints and tricks, such as exact speaker placement and audio calibration, which gives you the best acoustic sound according to your room. I have recognized that although I know plenty of info on Dolby Digital, it is always room to learn more, and you never stop growing. The best connectors for Dolby Digital to a television set would be the HDMI cord, which is a single plug for audio and video reproduction. Although there may be a lot of name brands out there, I personally think that when it comes to Dolby Digital, Sony is the juggernaut. I've owned Samsung, LG, RCA, and audio products, but few have rivaled what Sony has to offer in the Dolby Digital market. With new technology available at our grasp constantly, as we speak. I believe complex audio formats such as Dolby Digital and Dolby Atmos will continue to evolve and become even more complex and accessible. Dolby Digital has become part of our culture, and although many are aware of this technology, plenty have failed to accept it as in our changing times. I've spent countless hours learning, studying, and researching Dolby Digital, and it is my responsibility as a tech-savvy person to show others and enrich their lives with the information that I have learned over the years. To me, Dolby Digital has become more than just a hobby. It has become a way of life. Today, audio formats like Dolby Digital reign supreme, but who knows what the future has in store. Thank you very much.